Hey guys, Harrison, I'm back at it once again with a brand new video for you, and welcome to episode 20 of our MotoGP Career Mode Let's Play, and this is it. Important episode this time around. It's episode 20 and the grand finale of our Moto2 season. We have 2 rounds to go. Next up, round 17 in Motegi for the Grand Prix of Japan. One of my favourite tracks on the calendar, actually. One of those really great technical tracks, and it's a lot of fun. And man, Moto3 round here last season was absolutely carnage in Motegi. I'll talk about that during the race. But I remember that one. That was an absolute classic. If you haven't seen that race, the Moto3 for Japan this past season, go watch it. It's a classic. Seriously. If you've never seen what happens, you'll see why. Let's just say there's a lot of carnage, there's a little bit of angry team orders involved, and a couple of real shocks that pretty much altered the entire championship right at the end. Especially if you're one 21-year-old Spaniard called Luis Salom. That's all I'll say. So, here's the situation. For those that didn't see the scoreboard in our last episode, simply put is this. I have a 21-point lead in the championship ahead of Scott Redding. Pol Espargaro is also in range. He's 23 points back. They're still, if anything, it's funny enough, Mika Kallio is in 4th, he's 45 back. Even Mika Kallio can still win the title from here. It will take a whole heap of crazy shit, but it is still possible. Simply put, my situation is this. If I win, I am champion. It is as simple as that. Because a win would, at best, or I should say at worst, give me a 26-point gap over Redding, and will get me the title. Oh, and by the way, I finally chose a permanent number. I'm going with 92 because that's my year of my birth. Funnily enough, that's the same reason Marquez chose his number 93, and he's actually a year younger than me. Well, not a year, about 6 months. His date of birth, I believe, is I believe is February 93. I think. So yeah, let's do this. This is for the championship. A win, and it's mine. 6 laps in Motegi. Let's see if this goes to the final race or not. And we're off. Like I said, the Motegi is a really great track in this game. I don't think it's as good as a car track, but as a bike track, I think it's awesome. It's kind of like the Saxon Ring. It's like the Saxon Ring would never work as a Formula 1 track, but it wouldn't really work as a bike track. It's just tight and technical, and it works really well. Right, let's see if we can start picking these guys off now. The Aventa team coming around here. It's like, oh, Krumaka got held up. As Axel Pons, teammate, he'll gladly let us through. Good man. Johan Zarco coming up next. With a bit of a wider line there, kind of worked. Bit on the grass, but we're okay. I love the high speed corners. That's where I make the most time on these guys. Next up, Jordi Torres there in 14th place. Remember, he won in Germany. I think that was his first Moto2 victory earlier this season. Nakagami's having a bad one. There's Simon, there's Luti Sirab to P9 already. Oh, Luti coming back. Simeon coming back as well. Okay. Simeon had to break that. I kind of gave Luti a little tap as well, but we're okay. Still in 9th place, coming down the hill now. Coming up towards 160 miles an hour. Under braking. Luti's... Oh, that shot, and I got barged again. By Nakagami, I think it was. Maybe he's bitter about me leaving his team. The Italtrans team. Again, it's this issue of the AI. The AI just are awful. Whoa! I almost got taken out by De Angelis. Okay, so we're in P13. Tito Rabat setting track record of 51.9. So now I'm just going to try and find a way to find a rhythm, see where I can make some time out of these corners. I'm going to be honest, I haven't really got a topic in mind for this video when it comes to commentary. I'm probably just going to focus on the game this time around. So if you've come expecting some kind of quality commentary for this one, you may be a bit disappointed. Sorry. Even though I will give you a heads up in advance, I have got an online racer planned very soon to talk about McLaren and the recent news about Ron Dennis returning to the team. I think it's a bit of a nothing story, but we'll have to wait and see. You know, the return of Ron speak and all that, you know, just coming up with fancy words to describe words like, you know, do you sack Martin Whitmarsh, do you let him go, release him, de-employerize, or some fancy word like that, or you know, some of the words he's made up? I don't know. Gotta wait and see, I suppose. Also, the AI being incompetent is kind of why I've got to still use 5 rewinds, because the AI has no idea where they are in relation to you. So they can easily just barge and take you out, and it may not even be your fault if you're even taking the proper ride in line. It takes the piss. Oh, I was a bit late turning in there, and that's why I've gone proper wide. Nakagami again having a look. Nakagami doing pretty bad for a home Grand Prix. Bit of a bump. Bit of a couple of guys running wide, and that's going to bunch the field up a little bit now as well. Dominique Agata with a 50.0 there for the track record. I said a 49.3. And now you've got guys like Corsi getting involved. Nico Terol further up the field. Who's that there in 6th place now? Oh, it's Julian Simon, Nakagami's teammate. He kind of... Was he the run that ran off the road, I wonder? Doesn't matter, we're now up to 6th place. Even if I can't win this... Redding's in 5th! Okay. I will take that, gladly. But where's Pol Espargaro at, then? I think Agata was in the lead when he set that track record. These guys are all over the place by the looks of it. So Redding's in 5th and Espargaro is in 4th. This is good news. It means I may not even have to win this race. Which is good. Right, so let's see what we got here now. Also try to get the bike perched up as quickly as I can here as well, and turning in early. Getting a nice draft off Redding here. God, you have to really turn in early for some of these corners. Espargaro put a wheel on the dirt. That's not going to help. It's going to bunch us all up now. Espargaro and Redding have right next to each other now. I'm trying not to get involved here. I'm just kind of biding my time back here. I'm in no hurry. Act is in the lead. Rabat is in 2nd. Those guys are not in the title picture at all. And they've all kind of gone a bit wide here. I've got a really nice run out of the corner, though. It's a 48.4, and look, there we go. We're past Redding, and we're past Espargaro. Mika Kallio's up next. And Espargaro comes back down the inside. They're going to come back at him now and get through on Kallio too, so we're up into 3rd place. I don't even need to be pushing this hard, but I am. Rabat and Agata going head to head here. It's funny because I remember watching the Moto2 race for this, and Rabat took a bad one. It was a turn 1 or turn 2 incident, and I think Rabat collided with Redding, and I think Rabat came out of the worst of it, and it was luckily everybody was okay. Well, it was okay as you can be for a 100-mile-an-hour crash, I suppose, but that's got a bit wide turning in, but I'm keeping it tight. To get the run on the exit, and I've done just that. There goes Rabat. So now Dominique Agata separating me from the win and the guaranteed championship. Rabat seems to have overshot it a bit. Yep, there he goes. He's on into the grass. We'll take that back. Thank you very much. But again, got a nice drive coming out of that last corner. And we're now going to get a nice draft here down the back straight towards turn 1. We're over the line now for lap 5 of 6. Agata again, he's gone a bit wide. I take the tighter line through this corner. And I get a nice run on the exit. I'd hold back a little bit on this one though. Just hug that apex nicely. Come out a little bit. Oh, Agata bumps. We're a bit on the wide side. Gonna go around the outside of him maybe? Cut back in. There we go, we got him. That's nicely done. This is it. We're 2 laps away from destiny. And the Moto2 Championship. Just gotta bring it home now. This bike is a wonderful bike, by the way. I must admit, the Pons Cal-X bikes are really nice. Probably the best in Moto2. I like them more than the Italtron bike. Even if bikes have got a maximum performance index rating, you got to bear in mind as well that each bike does have a slightly different feel, so you got to get used to it. And I chose the right move going to the Pons team. It's a really nice bike. Ooh. Looking good. But yeah, so I love Motegi. Really is a great track. Just the right blend of technical and fast. Run a bit of a wheel on the grass there, but it should be okay still. Final lap. This should do it. Here we go. There wasn't the back wheel out a little bit there as well. That's always fun to do. I'm not showing off, promise. It's just one of those things where I just take the corner so hard that the back just comes out enough to keep my speed going, but not by enough to throw me off the bike, which is also quite good. If I was playing with a more advanced physics model, then I probably would be getting the back out a lot more. It will make for a good show, but it wouldn't be particularly fast. Oh my god, we're nearly there. Half a lap to go. Also, the undulations can make Motegi quite tricky because it's uphill, it's downhill, it's all over the place. This is the corner that caused a lot of controversy for one Moto3 champion-elect here last season as well. And this is where Pol Espargaro won his Moto2 World Championship. Again, really excited for Pol in the top class, and what he can do with his brother there, Alex, as well, for the NGM team. But I love Pol's celebration where he basically just spreads his arms out and he starts flying no-handed. I friggin' love that. Now, that is a proper celebration. Screw Vettel's victory finger. That's a proper celebration. And probably much more dangerous. But who cares? Here we go. Just 3 corners to go. Break it in. Switch sides. Take the power out. And we're wheeling. As we take the Moto2 win and the championship. There we go. As my controller dies. That's helpful. There we go. That's kind of an anticlimax, isn't it? Who cares? We're champions. Scott Redding finished in 5th. Pol Espargaro in 6th. Dominique Agata was just being a troll the whole time. So, there you have it, folks. With 1 race to go, it is guaranteed I'll finish the year as champion. I have a 35-point lead on Redding with only 25 points available. Kallio now 3rd. Kallio 4th there, sorry, Espargaro 3rd. Agata 5th, 57 points behind. So that's going to be the battle for 2nd between Redding and Espargaro, and the battle for 4th between Kallio and Agata. That should be interesting as well. But there we go. Also, the Cal-X will take the Constructors' Championship, even though I tried to reel him in with Pons in the end, but it didn't quite work out. Left it a bit too late to jump teams. But there you go. At the 16th race of the championship, Andre Harrison becomes world champion. How badass is that? Hooray! So yeah, 3,000. Sweet. Why do you get no points for based on realistic difficulty? I don't get that. That makes no sense. I don't get bonus fans winning the championship, which is friggin' awesome. So, this last race is going to be for show more than anything else. And, in the almighty realm of Valencia.
Now that the tension of the race is over, he can really enjoy himself as he celebrates.
Yeah!
Keeps this up, the other riders will find it very difficult to beat him.
Well, I didn't realise Tito Rabat-Info's got a really nice racing helmet. One of the best ones I've seen in MotoGP. Didn't even realise that. I've never seen Rabat on the podium until now. Maybe that's kind of bad, but look out for him next season. He's probably going to be a prime title contender with the Mark VDS team next season. That's a really strong on that one. On the top news, be featured on the Bike Today newspaper cover in career modes. Let's have a quick look at that then, shall we? Harrison! The Moto2 has a new world champion. 20 HP40 celebrates its phenomenon, who is already attracting attention from the MotoGP. These newspapers need to work on their grammar. Their journalistic qualities are awful. So stuff like that. Sanders as well, top class. Marc Marquez looks like he's going to take the MotoGP championship for the second time. Pedrosa in second, Lorenzo down in third. He's out of the running, so it's going to be between the two Repsols by the looks of it. And in Moto3, Maverick Vinales has a 17-point lead going into the final race. But just like in real life, it's going to be a battle of the last three on the last day. They'll decide it between Vinales, Salomon, Rins, even though it's a much bigger difference. And to keep it realistic, Jonas Volger in fourth as well. Anyway, let's do the season finale as we head back to Spain, the home of MotoGP, and Valencia. Again, it's crazy how Spain have 4 races on the calendar, but, you know, bike racing is huge in Spain, it really is. In fact, a lot of sports are huge in Spain. The football team dominates. They have arguably the best Formula 1 driver in the world in Fernando Alonso, you know. The Rafael Nadal, I mean, geez, it's crazy how much Spain love their sport. What was my email saying? No email from the team. Oh, hang on, there it is. Moto2 Championship victory. We're excited about the season's result, which surpassed all our expectations from Cito Pons. We would like you to know that the victory in the Moto2 Championship that you so doggedly pursued is a source of great pride for us. Naturally, we hope that you decide to keep racing with us. Even if that doesn't turn out to be the case, we wish you all the best for your future riding career. Ah, please win the next race. This team is ruthless. They want me to win the last race too, even though I'm already champion. Okay, if you say so. Valencia it is. The final race of the year. Well, let's enjoy it as champions. Let's see if we can bring it home. Also, I'm just saying, with all the sorting out of what team I join after this, it could get a little bit of a long episode. It could be 35, 40 minutes. We'll have to wait and see how this one shakes out in the end, but we'll sort that out after the race, obviously. Anyway, time for the final round at the Gran Premio Generale de la Comunidad Valenciana. I don't even know if that is even close to being correct, as I never did Spanish in school. I was a French guy myself, and I was terrible at it. It's the kind of things you spend 5 years learning French, and then you forget all about it the moment you leave school. Because I have no need to learn French anywhere, ever. Oh, and it's a wet race. Rain in Valencia, of course. This is like 2012 all over again. Which also reminds me of one of my favourite MotoGP moments ever, and it wasn't even in the top class. If anyone remembers Valencia 2012... Oh, was my controller almost dies, I reckon, there. There we go. Right. Fixed it. But yeah, it was Marc Marquez and the greatest start in the history of Grand Prix motorcycle racing when he started from the back after taking a penalty in qualifying for illegal contact, and he came up, and I think he was 12th by the end of turn 2. How in God's name did he pull that off? To this day, I still don't know. But yeah, here we go. But, oh, hang on. Demeglio's down from 10th. A lot of guys barge each other there, which is giving me places, which is awesome. We're hanging off the bike as we overtake Johan Zarco. Because I've got a lot more confidence in the wet than these guys do. Tyrrell's getting picked off quite quickly here. Bit wide on that one, but we're okay. 7 laps, by the way, because this is one of the shorter tracks on the calendar. Also, did anyone see the Yamaha reveal for the 2014 car yesterday? Oh, bike looks nice this year, boy. Whoa, I don't know how that happened. I got that off-balance animation there. Oh, I may have overcooked it steering-wise. But on the grassy side, but we're okay. Give the engines a little bump. But the bike looks good, and you know what? Yamaha needed to change things up because they were playing. As much as I don't like discussing pound-for-pound arguments in MotoGP because the bikes are much closer together than people like to make out. Not like Formula 1 where there's like a 1 second a lap difference between the Ferraris and, say, the Force Indias further down the field. It's a lot closer in MotoGP for sure. But on top of that, I've also got to say, Yamaha did have an inferior bike to Honda for most of the season. I think that's kind of a fact. And the fact that Lorenzo even managed to drag that thing around and make it as competitive as it was is a testament to why Lorenzo is the best rider in MotoGP. For sure. Like, don't get me wrong, Marquez is a freak talent, and I think he has more talent at 20 than Lorenzo had at maybe 23, 24, which is ridiculous considering how MotoGP is a young man's game, and it's quickly becoming a young man's game. But, you know, for Marquez to be that freakishly good, it's a testament to how great Lorenzo is. So Lorenzo rode like a demon the second half of this past season. It was a different Lorenzo. It was a more aggressive Lorenzo, and that made him really fun to watch. But I think he's the pound-for-pound #1 rider in MotoGP, for sure. I'm not sure if I want to put Marquez second or third because of Pedrosa. Because I'm overtaking these guys for fun right now. Because Pedrosa's been around 9 seasons. He's been a multiple-time runner-up. He's been a multiple-time third-place runner. Whoa, bump of Espargaro there. Actor's coming on strong in the second half of the year, man. But yeah, I mean, as I'm saying, it's just one of those things where, you know, Pedrosa's like the cat with 9 lives. He's been around he's been MotoGP now, I think, for 8 seasons, and he's not won the big one yet. It's kind of sad in a way, because I think Pedrosa's really good. People like to compare him to Mark Webber, and I think that's kind of unfair because I think he's better than Mark Webber was in relative terms to Formula 1. Webber, I don't think, was ever that great as a Formula 1 driver. I just think he was the kind of guy that really, really benefited from being patient with the Red Bull team. I think Vettel, always showed a little bit more talent, and I think it's a similar situation here. Pedrosa would have won at least 2 world titles by now if it wasn't for the fact there's always been someone who's a little bit better than him. Rossi's understandable because he's probably the greatest ever, if not second best, maybe behind Lagostini, but that's about it. As I run a bit wide there, which is a bit embarrassing. Whoa, bit of a bump. But the thing is like, it was either Rossi or it was Stoner, or then it became Lorenzo, and now Marquez seems to be a bit better than him as well, which is crazy when you think about it. Oh, you see, I remember Moto3 used to take that corner so much faster, but it's raining, so I can't do that. But yeah, it's those things where for Pedrosa, there's always been someone that little bit better, and that's the problem with him. And I don't know how much more patience Honda is going to have with Danny Pedrosa. He's getting up there in age in MotoGP terms. And, you know, there's other guys around that look hungry, like Alvaro Bautista, who's with the satellite team, who is very, very solid as a rider. Maybe his ship has sailed. But then who else do you bring in? Stefan Bradl, maybe? Who's with the LCR team? You know, he's got factory support, so he's got a very strong bike underneath him already, and he showed real improvement this season. Finally got his first podium. I think it was that second in Laguna Seca, which was really good. You know, it's one of the things where the rider lineup right now is absolutely loaded, and it's going to make the sport very fun next season. It could be the most competitive season of MotoGP ever. I don't think there's any clear front runner for the title next year, because we don't know how good the bikes are going to be just yet. But going by testing, Marquez looks really quick. Lorenzo looks like he's playing second fiddle again. I don't know. We have to wait and see. But we've got a lot of time between now and March when the season starts, so gotta wait and see. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds, because the hype MotoGP had over Lorenzo versus Marquez in the final race last year was unlike anything I've seen in MotoGP for years. It looked like the sport proper got behind these two, and the buzz with MotoGP at the time was really cool to see. It's something that I'd not seen in the sport since the Rossi, maybe the Rossi versus Gibernau days. Even though I think Rossi was always a little bit better, and that kind of pains me to say because I am a Sette Gibernau fan. I was a big Gibernau fan when I was growing up. But Rossi was clearly superior. But so I don't think there was as much of a buzz. I think people were just speaking in awe of just how friggin' insane Valentino Rossi is as a sportsman. He's one of those sportsmen nobody will talk about in the grand scheme of things, like a Phil Taylor in darts or a Ronnie O'Sullivan in terms of snookers. People don't take those sports as seriously, and the fan bases aren't as big for those kind of sports. But in the relative things, in my lifetime, I don't think there's been a much more dominant sportsman in my life than either maybe Ronnie O'Sullivan or Valentino Rossi. And you know, it's something you got to really respect. I mean, same for maybe for guys like Federer, who you know, maybe his star is just starting to fade now. More recently, you know, making way for Murray, Nadal, and Djokovic. But it's one of those things, you know. In my lifetime, those are some of the guys I really look up to. Michael Schumacher, of course, another one in Formula One, and now Sebastian Vettel seems to be the heir to the throne when it comes to that, which is crazy. And I never thought I would see someone match Schumacher, and now it's looking more and more feasible if Vettel can keep this going. I mean, it's incredible. And MotoGP, though, super competitive, and that's awesome. Because we need close sports sometimes as well, and I think that's why a lot of people went all knee-jerk with the double points rule in Formula 1 coming in. But, you know, I think Martin Whitmarsh was right when he said I think we were jerking too much, or, you know, finding a quick way to, you know, rush these changes in because of Vettel's dominant season. Because look at 2012. 2012 was a ridiculous year in terms of, you know, competitiveness. We had 7 different guys win the first 7 races from 6 different teams. You know, the more common guys took over later on, like Jenson Button and Fernando Alonso, and then Vettel winning the Asian block in the end, which pretty much won him the title. But besides that, you know, we can have exciting seasons without, you know, artificially adding excitement by changing the rules around all the time. And that's why I kind of like MotoGP a lot more than I like Formula 1, because, you know, the races are, generally speaking, a lot more exciting. There's more action. There's 3 races for the price of 1. And there's less political bullshit, you know. Don't get me wrong. Dorna have their moments when it comes to this as well. You know, when it comes to penalties and, you know, being harsh, and, you know, Lorenzo playing the political game a lot. He did that a lot last season with Marquez. He seemed to be very bitchy about him when he wanted to be, despite trying to act like he was all humble, which I kind of have an issue with. That's why I called Lorenzo the Rat a lot, you know, during this season, because he seemed to be bitching about a lot of things that made him a bit of a hypocrite. But for the most part, I really like MotoGP for that very reason. As we start our final lap of the championship. Oh, it's been really fun this year. I can't wait to attack MotoGP. I've not actually done any MotoGP races at the realistic difficulty, so this is going to be fun. I'm probably going to start qualifying again as well, just to balance it out, to see how we go early on, and we'll see what happens from there. But, you know, at least I can say this. As much as I'm not a big F1 guy in terms of, I am maybe in terms of YouTube support, and at least you guys can't complain over the gameplay here, because like I said, I'm playing at realistic difficulty. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's a bit difficult, but at least the gameplay is of a really high standard here as well, which is something I really want to do. I like to be well-rounded. And, you know, maybe this year I'll dedicate myself to try and get better at the game as well, because I know there's guys like Matty G and TRL Limitless and who are really good pad players, and if they're that good, I've got no excuse. I've got to try and find a way to get better for you guys, because I know you guys want to see good gameplay as well, and I know you guys subscribe to me, but I want to get as many people in as possible. So, you know, maybe that's an aim of mine for the new year. And of course, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure this season, it really has. It's been a very fun season. These Moto2 bikes are so fun to ride in this game. And, you know, one low wheelie, why not? Oh, and I dropped it, and I don't care. Actually, I do care, because I'm going to lose. I'll be derping it up in here. I thought I was further ahead than I actually was. But there we go. We get the win in Valencia, and my controller dies again. God damn it. Stop knocking the play charge kit out. That's really annoying. Right. There we go. We get the final win of the year from Dominic Agata in second and Pol Espargaro third. So the final Moto2 Championship leaderboard, we ended up winning by 47 points. It was a bit of a whitewash in the end. But look at that, Espargaro and Redding tied for second, but Espargaro wins on countback. He had more race wins than Redding did. Redding third, and Agata overtakes Kallio for fourth right at the end as well with his second place. So it's amazing how in real life Espargaro won the title, but in this game they actually split it. How scary is that? God damn it, controller, stay in place, play charger. You irritating pile of crap. Right. Constructors, Cadex take the team title ahead of the Pons team in second, Suter in third, no surprises there. And yes, there we go. World champion, 318 points. Espargaro and Redding second and third with 271. And hit level 60, hooray! And 600,000 fans, awesomeness. So, what happens now, I wonder? I'm going up, that's for sure, to MotoGP, as we have a glitch. I've been replaced by a wet piece of tarmac. Hooray. But yeah, I'm definitely moving up to the top class. It's a matter of what team offers are on the table. And see, the annoying thing is, it's not like Formula 1 where I can sit on it for a while and think about it. I've got to make a decision on the spot. So I can't ask you guys what you would want me to see me ride for as well. Which would be such a shame, because I really enjoy that. But, you know, what can you do? Gotta make the most of it. Great position. You managed to achieve the objective. Yeah, thank you, Cito. Personal manager. Now the Valencia race is over, we can allow ourselves a little well-earned rest. I hope you'll use the time to take a break from racing and gather your energy. I will, don't worry about that. Lots of sex. Personally, I'm very satisfied with how we have worked together, and I hope we can continue to do so in the future. Hero. An excellent result, of course. Okay. Let's have a look at the newspapers here. Marc Marquez wins the top class championship. Isn't that awesome? Good for him. Rossi won the final race. How about that? It was a Yamaha 1-2, but Marquez played it safe and came in fourth. Vinales had 364 points in Moto3. That's pretty dominant. Crikey. So Maverick Vinales won the... that's kind of weird. If you take me out of the equation, the guys that won the titles in real life won the titles in the game too. Marquez winning the big one, and Maverick Vinales being Moto3 champ. Right, next season. Here's the offers on the table. There's a lot. Let's see. We have the Avinta MotoGP team. That's Hector Barber and Hiroshi Ayama. There's the AB team with Carol Abraham. Paul Bird Motorsport with Yoni Hernandez, who's actually been announced he's gonna get the Pramac ride full time with them for next season. So good on him for the Colombian there, Yoni Hernandez. We could go to the Suter Moto2 team, the Mark VDS Moto2 team with Scott Redding, the Taltran's team, the Calv team of Moto3. So we've got Moto3 offers as well, actually. It's not great, these offers, to be honest, in MotoGP. It's a bottom end team, and that's no surprises there, really. The best one on the board is the AB team with Abraham, so let's go with them. So that's the, there you go, there's the 3 champions there. Also 30 gamer score for signing my first MotoGP contract. But yeah, there's Marquez at the top there. We have Harrison, their Moto2 champion, even though I'm rocking a sweet mustache. And Maverick Vinales winning the Moto3 title. Awesomeness. So, let's get ready for Season 3. Which will obviously start next video. Which is going to be fun. Still got a champion rank, so let's look at team interest here. I've got to get to the level of Prodigy to get to these top level teams. Then there's Star for the other lower ranked teams. But I have a chance to beat in the Aspar team and all the other little other minor MotoGP teams around, like Poolbird Motorsport, Avinta, Mobile Forward, Poolbird, etc. My aim, if anything, I would like to get a Ducati seat. I would like to win the title on the Ducati in a similar vein to what Casey Stone did, because Casey Stone is one of my favourite riders ever. So I would like to do that. There's a thought. If anyone's got any better ideas, feel free to tell me. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this lengthy season finale. Season 3 will start next week. My final season, see if I can go after the MotoGP Championship. That's an aim. It's going to be a bit of a struggle on the Bicam one, but we'll see how we fare. But I just want to say thank you all so much for all your support over Season 2. Like I said, it's been a real pleasure to put this series together, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it, watching it as I have making it. So thank you all so much. And yeah, if you liked it, feel free to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks very much for watching, and sayonara.